right, welcome back to Slip Joint Display. Today we're looking at a modded Great Eastern Cutlery 86, the Bull Hide Carver. This is knife number 861223P in red linen micarta. Let's get into the model. So this is a Great Eastern Cutlery 86 from 2023. This knife came out with an interesting lineup of other 86s that year. You're talking about the first Rivertown Jack, you're talking about the Marrowbone, the Texas Yellow Rose. It was an interesting year for these, and amongst that lineup, this oddball clip point came out. Now, this is outside of SFOs. There was other clip points in SFOs. Charlie Campagna had his harness jacks, but this one came out in the regular lineup. When it was originally released, this had an awl on the knife that I had slip joint spa remove. The pull on this is very strong. It's a very heavy pull, and this thing was a nail breaker. And I just always thought to myself that this would be better off without the extra tool on it. So that's why I had the delete done. What you're talking about here is Titiute. So here's your tube, standard stuff, right? Great Eastern Cutlery, hammer tested, frozen forged, 1095 carbon. But it is Titiute. So satin blade, nail nick, drawn swedge, no fluting on the bolsters, badge shield, and red linen micarta. This knife didn't get much carry from me for a long time. I mean, I sharpened it and I carried it once or twice. I was definitely into it. I could dig it, but it was a very hard pull. And, you know, I'm a big fan of the 86s, and the other ones just always seem to make it into my pocket. I had an idea in my head recently for a micarta knife, a single blade micarta knife, and I was leaning towards a 71, and I wanted something different. You know, instead of just your standard black micarta, I wanted something that would kind of stand out. And I was thinking about looking into 71s, and it occurred to me that I had this, and I thought, you know, why don't I just have slip joint spa remove the awl, and then I've got my single blade micarta, and I'll make this into this heavy user that I've been thinking about. So that's what I did. I'm pretty happy with the work. As far as the work goes, slip joint spa's work, it is once again flawless. You can't see the pins and the pivot. The pins in the body all look great. If that's not a strike down the middle, it's only a hair off. I'm not even sure that's fair to say. Everything looks great on it. Everything is just, you can't even feel the transition. The action on this, like I said, is really heavy. It's always closed with a heavy thud. Badge shield on it, yeah. And this little cutout, this little easy open cutout was there for the awl, and you know, it hung around for the main blade now, and I can totally dig that. I like the way that looks, and this knife is now pinchable. As far as the model's concerned, we can see here, Bull Hide Carver. This has quite a bit of patina on it just from a few days of carry, but there is your billboard. Bull Hide Carver. So I tried to look that up and see if there was anything to that historically, and I really wasn't coming up with much. And then in getting ready to do this review, I took a look at the pin, and so Titiute Cutlery, Bull Hide Carver 86, and then leather punch jack I saw at the bottom. And like I mentioned, this did have an awl on it. So, you know, the awl was used for putting holes in leather or heavy canvas, that kind of thing. So, and leather is, I mean, it is cowhide. You could say bull hide, that's fine, it's fair. So maybe that's where the name comes from, because there wasn't, you know, a historical bull carver knife to reference. And I always kind of felt like they just threw that together as far as the the designation for this knife goes. Bull Hide Carver. I mean, yeah, but I can totally dig it. I like the billboard, even though I know that it's on its way out, it's going. I still like it. Let's see, I guess it's the same on the pin. You can actually get a better look at it there. Yeah. So it's interesting. I dig the fact that it's red or maroon, red linen micarta. I can totally dig that. The other day, Richter put out a challenge on Instagram for a 30-day carry knife. Take a knife, not your favorite knife, not the one you always carry, and put it in your pocket and carry it for 30 days. Use it every day. If you want to carry other knives in that, that's fine, but give 30 days, the month of July. And I kind of stepped up and said, yeah, I'm your Huckleberry. Let's do this. And I'm going to make it this knife. So I'm going to carry this every day for the month of July. I'll probably carry other knives with it, but I will carry it and use it. It'll be in my pocket. I have already begun. You can see some interesting patina already starting to happen there. So, and I'm wondering what'll happen with the micarta. It's an interesting aspect of the whole thing because some micarta, like you would find on Spyderco, darkens with carry. And then it seems as if there's some stuff that gets lighter with carry. This is probably an example of that. I mean, you can kind of see the lighter sections in there. And that's from carry and use. So I'm curious as to what will happen with this. We are in the summertime. It is hot. So I kind of thought to myself, maybe a really tough knife with micarta is a better choice. Not to mention the fact that the point of this, the entire idea behind having a delete done and everything was to get it in my pocket and make it a really hard user. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to say abuse, but heavy use. I mean, that was the idea from the jump. As far as the knife is concerned, I think it's really interesting. I like the 86 pattern with a single clip point blade, and I like the configuration of this clip point. I mean, it's a drawn swedge and a nail nick, but there is a lot of variation on how they do this. So just to give a look at some other examples. Now, here's another 86. This is from the 21 run, I believe. Yeah, and this is kind of the same as far as, now this is GEC line, so it's not Tidiute, but the way they did the drawn swedge and the nail nick is similar. But if you look at this 86, this is from the latest run. It's a nail nick still, but they brought it way back, and it's a long cut swedge as opposed to drawn. You see the abrupt start of it there. The difference between a cut swedge and a drawn swedge is pretty much how it starts off. I mean, these terminate the same, but with a drawn swedge, they ease their way into it, and with a cut swedge, it's a sharp, abrupt start to it. But it is, you're talking about the same model. It is a variation on how they're going about the nail nick. Just to take it a step further, this is a Great Eastern Cutlery 78. So not an 86, but you see the same thing here. The nail nick, while it's kind of sitting back like it is on this 86, you have a drawn swedge instead of a cut. And it's not as dramatic. I mean, fair to say, because it's drawn and not cut, it's not as dramatic. So it's interesting. It's interesting, the choices, the different variations they make with where they would put a nail nick and how they go about the swedge and everything else. It can really change the face of the knife for you. I've got to say that the way that this is done is what I prefer as far as a nail nick is concerned. I like it kind of hovering down, lined up with the peak of the spine, where it kind of changes direction there. As far as this run goes and knives that are similar, this was an early review on this channel, and this is an SFO from Charlie Campagna, and this had the same awl and the same configuration, short of the fact that it's not titty ute. Just wanted to line that up here and show it, as you know, these knives are kind of brothers. And yeah, so this is 23 as well. Really good action on these. I mean, this harness jack, that too, I mean, it's a lot of pull there. So just to show, you know, a knife from the same, you know, same model, same time period. You know, granted, this is the Rider by GEC, but this was kind of your harness jack equivalent, even if they're not calling it that came out same year, same run. I think the whole thing is interesting. The start of the patinas looks nice. This guy's gonna get dark. I'm really gonna make heavy use out of this. The badge shield on it, you can't even feel. The transitions, all but not there. The pins all look good. Let's have a look around real quick. So what we're talking about is a, what, 2 3/4 blade, or 2 3/4 cutting, 3-inch blade, something like that. And then maybe a little over 3 3/4 handle, or a 3 3/4 handle. A hair beyond not being flush at half. I mean, I can catch a fingernail on it, but otherwise it's flush at half. Let's have a look here. Let's see. This is both for Great Eastern Cutlery and for Slip Joint Spa as far as how this is all fitted together, but wow, I've got nothing. Nothing. No light coming through. You watch this channel a lot, you know how hard that is, how rare that is to come by. I mean, it's common to not see any gaps on the outside, but still, you still get light coming through. But this guy is, you know, flawless in that regard. Interesting stuff. I'll give updates on this. I'm excited for this piece, and Slip Joint Spa did an amazing job, and Great Eastern Cutlery, I really like this. I like it better without the awl. I just wanted the single blade in there. And like I said, it was an idea in my mind, and I had other models in mind until I remembered that I had this and thought this would be perfect. This fit the bill even more than a 71 would. So 30-day challenge. I know there's a lot of other guys jumping in on it with Richter. So I'm sure he'll be updating on his channel for what he's carrying, and I'll be updating here. I wanted to bring this out. I wanted to show it. What do you guys think? Is this a piece you picked up from that run, or you know, what do you think of the micarta? What do you think is going to happen with it over 30 days in the height of summer in my pocket? And I'm carrying this without a slip. I'm just throwing this in the pocket. So I'm just going to do it and let the chips fall where they may. Ideally, I would want this to darken on me, but this grain has become more prevalent just in a few days of carry. So we will see. Hopefully by the end of this, I don't have a pink knife. That's really not what I want. If it starts to go that route, I don't know. Maybe I'll have an accident and spill some RIT dye around the knife. And we'll just see what happens with that. But we're gonna let it flow and see where things go. Get down in comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the mod. Do you like this better as a single blade? What are your thoughts on the whole thing, and what's your prediction with the micarta? Do you have a Bull Hide Carver? Is it one that you had, got rid of, or one that you're hunting? All right, guys, I will see you in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video.